everybody. I'm your responsible host, James. Woo! When I say these nuts, I mean these castano. What are they called in English?
Chestnuts.
Chestnuts, yeah. Very different from the nuts I keep below my chest. Anyway. Hey, welcome to my stand-up hour. Yeah. It feels like, no, I'm not gonna say that either. First presenter, Andreas!
Hello. I just finished my presentation as you were clapping. So, yeah, this probably is the worst one yet when it comes to last minute. So here's the old slide, not us. I figured since I didn't have any time, why not make a new start slide to my presentations before I get into the actual stuff. Mm-hmm. So here we have a presentation of the game, you know, so you can just feed that into your brains and suck it. This week, I said nearly done with the demo a month ago, but it's me, so you know that's not happening. I'm currently doing the story rewrite, so tomorrow hopefully that'll be done. And in the works is the Twig and Lizard reartening. They're getting new looks, and that's what we're going to look at. So these are the sketches that we have so far. Twig just used to be this blue cloak. So here's some personality, and the cloak is back. And we have Lizard. I like this little personality, especially the mine one that is very Samus, my dog. And good job. And we would like to find some testers among you homies. So we've been using some online people, but why not feed you into the Discord as well and give you builds and have you there to talk to us, fill out quizzes and forms and stuff, and just guide us into making this game really fun. Because right now it kind of works, of course. No, it works beautifully, it's polished. But we really need to check out and make sure it's fun. And since you are fun people, DM me and you'll get an invite to the server where all the stuff lives. Questions? Yes.
Who's making the art?
Miriam, homie that lives here now, which everybody should. And last month, that 1 month ago, she raised her hand and volunteered to do art when I asked nicely. So now I'm asking nicely for you to be testers, and you could be as cool as Miriam, but not really. Casper.
What about daytime Friday?
Yes, I can't really go into the dining hall much, but and this is more like an ongoing thing that we like to, I guess, string you up and have you like a nice little necklace on the server, and we just feed you new builds. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm wrong. Any other questions? Yes?
Why can't you do the dining hall? Are you afraid of it?
No, but I have a very needy dog.
Oh.
And I have a stationary computer. That's not fun. Maybe my publisher one day can help me find a more portable computer. I don't know. I never talked to him.
You should continue that.
Yeah, I know. Everybody loves me not talking. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, next up, Brian.
So, for the third week in a row, I said I wasn't presenting, and here I am presenting again. Okay, recently I put up a large casting call for Craft. I'm Brian, by the way. I work for Placeholder Gameworks. We're working on 2 games that are in Steam Next Fest at the moment, Broken Alliance and Craft. And recently we had a large casting call set up for masculine, feminine characters and characters with diverse backgrounds as well. So I wanted to show you what to do and what not to do, at least from my point of view, and mention some of the problems I had from the things that I set up. This is what our casting call for, I think, the masculine characters looked like. There's a whole bunch of information and front loaded on here. It's probably a little bit much, but it contains every detail that should be in there for people to read. I am convinced that a lot of the people did not read this properly and sent stuff in anyways, and was a reason for me to discard a lot of auditions. But this is... Sorry?
Your text is very small.
Yeah, sure. There's set sections for, like, I'll move to one with an image because we didn't have an image for that character. I try and have an image for the character, a bit of background, some voice reference, and usually 3 or 4 lines with different emotions to try and make sure that the actor has a reasonable amount of range and that I can't just do happy voice easily and never do angry voice, and maybe they just overload the mic. So I just set stuff up like this, and I was getting people to submit their auditions via email, which was a terrible mistake, because I have to then go and download a massive amount of attachments. Fun facts, 865 emails came in for the feminine casting call on Twitter and Discord. That was a public casting call. Around 200 emails came in for the diversity call, again an open call. And then 250 auditions came in for the masculine casting call because it was closed and we had a short email list of 40 actors that we knew could do a good job. So that's why we had less of those. I would advise using probably a Google form instead or some other equivalent. And I'll show you a quick example one that I made that would have helped me and will help me in the future. Some of the casting calls were open for a week online, and that is a lot of time for a lot of people to send in stuff, which is great. I will say 865 auditions for the feminine. I had to throw about 450 of them out because of not great audio, even though I specified, please, don't record on your phone and don't record in a bad room, we will not accept these, but that made my job easier. So, Google form, I just have some links. So I set up a thing with less information, a link to the casting call, which I showed you. Just get them to state their name as they want to be credited in the game. Saves me having to ask later. Their email address so I can contact them. Social media links is optional. Stating whether they're available to record at the time that I ask them to be recorded and make it mandatory. Stating whether they're non-union and they can work with us because of the strike with voice actors. It's harder to work with union talent at the moment. And also then an option to upload multiple auditions using a naming convention that I've stated here as well, hopefully. If they don't use the naming convention, I will just discard their file because there'll probably be hundreds of auditions anyways. How much time do I have left, James?
Sure.
Okay. I also have a spreadsheet set up link. I'll just go to so that any entries that I get will come into spreadsheet form as well. I put into fake responses myself, just with emails gathering all their social links and also Google Drive link. But also I have a Google Drive folder where I submitted 2 random just images of Craft, but it would be audio files. So I could just download this entire folder at the end onto my computer rather than having to use Thunderbird or something to download massive amounts of attachments and then add loads of Google Drive links manually, which wasted hours for me and made me very tired. So I will do it this way in the future. Also use MP3s and not WAV files because MP3s are much smaller and they can still be good quality. I don't know why I insisted on WAV files because then people had to attach to drive links to their email, which was not captured by download all attachments with Thunderbird, and I had to go manually and do that. So I made a lot of mistakes. But I will learn from this when we cast more characters for Broken Alliance, probably in the new year for early access stuff. So this form will be the basis for my new form for getting stuff. And I'll probably only send stuff out to a roster of actors now that we've gathered a lot more feminine actors as well. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, James.
Do you let them know that you discarded their entry for bad audio?
In previous casting calls I've tried to kind of filter, put like labels or like put them in a folder saying like good acting but like bad setup, and then sometimes if it's bad acting and bad setups, then I will probably just say unfortunately you were unsuccessful at this time. I will not say you're bad at acting. That's not very nice. But if they do have potential to their performances, I would say, hey, unfortunately, we couldn't accept your audition this time because there's echo in your room, or the mic has a strange quality to it that would make it difficult to edit, and it would sound of less good quality than the other voice acting in the game. I try and respond. There is a massive amount of emails this time. I will probably, at least maybe a bit later after things have calmed down, a little bit after I've cast the characters, maybe try and go through those again and just send a quick email that would say, maybe have 4 or 5 bullet points. Unfortunately, your audition wasn't chosen for one of the following reasons. If you want clarification of which of these it is, feel free to email me so that I can just bulk email send that to a bunch of people, because there's a variety of reasons for different things. And then the people who want to know will ask, and I will check their audition again and just give them individual feedback if I can. But I will say, I will shorten my answer now from here, but most people do not respond, do not even let you know you didn't get the job with voiceover. It's so common for people to just, there's so many applicants for people to not spend the time and send it back. And I do understand that because we're busy, but voice actors usually really appreciate when you actually at least acknowledge that they sent the stuff in and that they didn't get it, you know, and even better if you can give them a reason why, but it's not always possible. Sorry, that was a long answer. Yeah, no, sir.
820 response or 800 plus response, like that's a crazy amount of response.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do this casting call to get that many people?
Well, I use a Discord called Voice Acting Club, which has about 14,000 members. Those range from very amateur to quite professional or semi-professional actors. So they have a paid casting call section where they have certain rules, and it's actually quite useful because that one kind of puts it in your mind of maybe things you might miss out, because these are voice actors that are used to dealing with casting calls. They'll give you guidelines for what you should include. So if you're ever in doubt, you can check that out. And also Twitter as well, with certain hashtags embedded, or I suppose Blue Sky or other kind of social networks. You can use certain hashtags because voice actors, some at least savvy ones, probably will use certain search terms to narrow down to more recent casting calls that have gone out. Again, I will reiterate, you sometimes can just get away with putting up a casting call for 48 hours or 72 hours, and that's enough. And if you don't capture everything within that time, you can always just open it again for another 48 hours. So, yeah. Casper.
Just give you a suggestion to use join.com.
Join.com, did you say?
I use that for finding a savior.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a nice where you can put up, and then you can ask people to put specific things into it.
Mm-hmm.
And after you can make a auto reject. So when you reject someone, they just get that email.
Okay. Join.com. I'll just type that to myself. Yeah, James.
Do you know if there's any like platforms for handling casting calls and stuff like that?
There are, in fact, some of those casting call platforms actually emailed us during the process. Like their attention was drawn to when they were trying to get me onto their platform, which probably costs, you probably sign up and pay some kind of subscription thing in some of them. I off the top of my head, I can't remember the names of them. But there are platforms out there that will push you to even wider reach, or to a very specific set of kind of either professionals, or sometimes there are casting calls for maybe people from certain backgrounds as well.
Yeah, but do they also handle the tools for like uploading and managing and rejecting and all
I'm
that?
not sure.
Okay.
I don't actually know, because I've just kind of been just doing this myself, and this is only like the 3rd or 4th casting call I've had to do myself rather than just applying for it as a voice actor. So I'm still learning. So yeah. Any other questions?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, Jonathan Ballevik.
So it's been a while since I've done stuff or shown stuff. But yeah, I've been doing the IndieQuest stuff lately with like animation 1, 2, and then specialization. And for those of you who know, I've been working on a game that's like you shoot stuff, and this is the main character. But for this animation thing, I was gonna make like for the IndieQuest like an animation with first one of my characters, or like an original created character, and then yeah, afterwards I did some other stuff. But yeah, I don't know if people recognize this character, but this was like the first one I have, and then I don't have a new one, but I thought it was really bad to animate this, so I actually updated it, but I don't have a screenshot of it. So, but as you can see, it's like a little bit updated here. So that was the first thing I did. I just did a simple run animation, and then like the task was to create a full animated scene. So I was just thinking, oh, I'll just make one cool run animation and then have it loop with a different camera shot, so I can like, oh yeah, it looks like it's a lot of work, but it's just one running animation. That was like the idea. And then I planned out a bunch of shots, and here's like another block out I did of like the end thing. So yeah, this is me just creating some shots for like, I did some storyboarding as well, but like, just like getting stuff ready to, yeah. This was where my sanity was at its highest, and after this it just went down, because I thought it was, I thought this would take like 1 or 1.5 week to do, because like, oh yeah, in Unity I just do this and this and that and that, but in Blender, oh no, you don't do that. So I was fighting like Blender lighting for like a week, so this took me like 3 weeks to create from this to this, and it was just like, yeah, my PC was overheating and it was crashing and it was lighting and it was miserable. Thank you, Paulina, if you're here, you saved my sanity. But yeah, after 3 weeks I managed to get this thing done. The quality is pretty bad, but rawr. So scary, oh no, I'm running. Wow, so cool. Is that a final boss? No way, that's so cool, creative, whoa. Love it, yeah. So yeah, it doesn't look like it, but yeah, a lot of sweat and tears was made into that for making it, the lighting not shit. And
I think that deserves a clap.
So this was for animation 2, and then this one I downloaded like a rig because I want to do facial animation, because I always thought that would be cool. So here is like my first block out. It's like inspired from Arcane, like the new teaser where Vi punches the mirror and then yeah, gets really emotional. So the thing I did different here was I actually tried to make one like shot finish before I moved on to the next one, because the last one I was working on 5 shots at one time, which I probably shouldn't. So try to get one finished thing a day, and then next time I just add to it. So yeah, I worked on it a bit, I think a week actually, because I actually spent all of it animating and not fighting Blender lighting. So I'll just get full screen, and this is like the final render I did. So yeah, I don't know if you want the audio or where it's coming from, but yeah. I watched this so many times. I think it's so cool. So yeah, it's this different from animating in code. Actually, I think I actually like this. This is nice. It's yeah. Maybe I shouldn't do animation in code anymore. But yeah, it was really fun. You realized. I mean, I did use a lot of the tricks I did with code as well, because tweaking a thing one frame can actually change the whole animation, and especially with facial animation, you tweak the mouth just like 0.1% and it goes squish, and you're like, oh my god, it's so crazy now. But yeah, I actually find this stuff fun. So yeah, this is the stuff I showed. Yeah, thank you. Any questions? Okay, yeah. Brian.
So what elements of your kind of code-based animation would you say you brought into the more traditional kind of style? Is there any particular things?
Like the thing I brought with me?
Like, is there any techniques that you brought with you or that you used to help you with this other thing, or that you think?
Well, the most thing is like fundamentals, because even when I'm doing it with code, you still have to get the timing right. If I'm moving stuff, you have to like have anticipation and move it really fast and then slow down, like all that. But also just like squishing and squashing and I don't know, just looking at the same thing for 8 hours and then you tweak 1% here and 1% there, like kind of. Oh yeah, I really have to get into the needed details to get, So I guess that's what I brought with me.
The first full animation you showed, do you plan on using it in your game?
It was gonna be like a trailer, but then I wasn't really happy with how it turned out in the end. Like I imagined it to be something different. I still think it looks good, but yeah, I don't think I will attach the game to it. At least not in this form. Maybe I'll do it again with all of the stuff I learned. But yeah, it was the original plan, yeah. That's why I also spent 3 weeks on it. Probably shouldn't have done that, but yeah.
I have 2 questions. In the run cycle, did you hand animate the ears, or are they physics?
No, the ears are actually like a physics thing in Blender. So you do the frames and then you just have the ears there, and then you just click render, and then they just render it, and then they look through the motion, and then I also added wind, so it actually looks like, because believe it or not, the character is actually standing still. It's not actually running. I don't know if you, but yeah. So I cheated the ears. Yeah.
And I was also going to ask, you're talking about getting to grips with lighting in Blender.
Yeah.
Like, for the purpose of, say, a game cutscene, are you planning to render it in engine or out of the engine?
No, I don't think I will have like pre-rendered scenes in the game. Like this is more like for a trailer per se, and also just to figure out like, oh, what the heck is Blender lighting, anyways. So Thank you.
All right. Final one for the public, Casper.
Hello, I'm Casper. I work on Outlaw Kingdom, and I'm gonna show what I have been doing. So I have been working on a marketing video for a while. So I made this beautiful thing for Nico, so he could make a thumbnail. So he made those, and I got it inspired. So I made this fun little video. Guess the music is rather low. Can you turn up the music or the sound somehow? Alright. But we have been working on UI, and that is a challenge in itself. So this is the current UI, where we can just drag them out now, and we can click on them, and I need to click on the right one. that is here, because that is the only one that works. So we can look at his abilities, and the other ones doesn't work yet. But now we should be able to drag them out, put them in different groups. Actually, let's just throw them all out, have them fight. Oh yeah, of course, if you hold them over a bush, they hide. Of course. It's very realistic hiding. You can see. And of course, the hero portrait. Just have them run over and attack. And, we might have overdone some of the particle effects, like the shield particle effects is rather large when there's a lot of units. And the throwing something broke again, I don't know why. Actually, as you can see, my own temporary ones. For some reason it's just a finger. Oh, I think we can actually look at it. Yeah, look. Art. And the end screen where we can see how much damage they take, how much damage they gave, who they kill, are they still alive? Of course, this is still in the works. Then I'm just gonna show some of the things Xavier's been doing. He's been making some concept art for the different buildings. So the are the Cultridge buildings. Then we have. Can I just do this and loads it all? I think that worked. Alright, so here we have the warbands, like orcs, goblins. Then we have the dwarves, the elves. I think we have one finished version. That's the blacksmith. And what is this? Oh yeah, the swamp for the ogre. That's it.
Shrek.
Yes. Any questions?
The marketing video has been in the works forever. Any idea when we can,
When Nicholas is finished with the thumbnail. Right.
With the UI in game, all of the UI elements, are those made just in 2D using a particular program, or are some of it made in 3D and then rendered as 2D?
All is hand drawn. You mean like those in here, right?
Yeah, all the elements.
Yeah. Xavier drew it all. So like I made some of like the building blocks like this, and then just kind of told him where I wanted stuff. So actually, most of those images here, I can't really put the mouse over, but they are individually boxes. So like this box is on its own, this box is on its own. Like actually, you can see the cut collection here. Can you see the mouse?
Sorry?
Can you see the mouse there?
Yeah.
Alright, so you can actually see it's cutting together here, and there should also be a tiny rift here.
Don't see that.
Yeah, but it's multiple overlayings on top of each other.
If you didn't point it out, we wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, it's the same with this one here. It's also like a mask that's cut into it. So I don't think it's very performative to draw that many pictures on top of each other. But you know,
Currency is expensive.
it's not visible all the time, so it's fine. Yeah. Any other questions?
The video you shared has very
Copyrighted music?
What's that? Oh, I was gonna say.
No.
I was gonna say it has very mobile game ad energy.
So it's actually the intro to my video, so I wanted like a little bit of spice. Any other questions? Nope. All right.
All right. So that was the final public presentation. Do we have our private presenter here? Oh, there you go. Yes. But everyone online, you're not allowed to see that because you're not worthy. So maybe be more worthy. I don't know. Take care. Bye.